Hello everyone, Storm101 here. Today we'll be doing a very special edition of kind of an extended forecast of April 2020, mainly about the overall setup for April and what could it bring, like, and also made a severe weather forecast for April 2020. This is basically going to be a kind of a serious topic to talk about. We'll be taking a look into the models. We'll be taking a look into a couple forecast maps that I've made, the Climate Prediction Center outlook, which they updated a few of their maps, and the hazard outlook from I believe, the Weather Prediction Center climate. Probably one of those. I cannot remember. We'll find out till we get there, but let's go ahead and get started with the models here. Right now, the pattern, at least overall for this week, looks to be fine with severe weather. We could probably see a couple larger risk days, which I forgot to put that up here. Right now, with the SPC outlook, excuse me, there's a marginal risk up in the Dakotas. Day 2, there's a marginal risk in Kansas. Into day 3, there's a slight risk. So we're going to see a few marginal to slight risk days, but it's till when we get next week. Next week is going to be something really different here. Now, let's start off with the model. So your current pattern right now, we got some eventually ridging will be starting to build across the east again. Right now we're in some cooler than average temperatures. And so this is week 1 out from the CFS. I cannot show you the monthly outlook from the CFS because it goes to May. So May will be for a different video. Well, I'll probably show you guys a sneak peek of that. It's something very interesting for the models. But anyways, taking a look into this here, um, you're going to have some ridging building across the Great Lakes region, pretty much up into Canada. Then another ridge starts to build across the Gulf of Mexico. You can also see here troughing will start to move in the northwest here. Now, let's take a look at the precipitation around the same time. At this point, it's going to be staying dry across the east. It's dry across the desert southwest, dry across the west coast. It's also going to be wet across down to Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, kind of in Alabama, and pretty much up into the plains as well here. But things start to completely change as we look into week 2. Let's go back to the height anomalies. Let's take a look into week 2 out from the CFS. What's the major difference? Well, look at this jet stream right here. You got very strong troughing across the west. You got strong ridging across the southeast. What does this indicate? You're going to have a very active jet stream right in here across anywhere from like portions of the Southern Plains. It'll be coming from the Rockies. Then it'll be shooting up into the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. Anybody in these areas in here in the continental ridging area need to keep an eye on this. Let's take a look into the precipitation. Look at this. You got well above normal precipitation across pretty much the Tennessee Valley, the Mid-South, Colorado, Arkansas, the Ohio Valley, up into the Midwest of the Rockies. So basically your storm track is kind of something like this here. You also have a dry spot down here. But your overall storm track looks to be kind of something like this here. And something, I guess the system tries to develop right here and it kind of shoots off. I'm not 100% sure about this at this time. But anyways, um, let's go ahead and move back here to your upper dynamics. And, your jet stream looks like it could do something like this. There's going to be a dry spot in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. So my guessing is the jet stream will probably kind of arching here. There might be a couple systems that can come from the Pacific here. Moving into week 3 here. Now we're getting a little far out. This is April 15th to the 22nd. And as you can see here, you got the ridging starts to flatten, but you still got troughing across the north. So your kind of jet stream pattern is still something like this here. So if you got source systems that have been coming through here, And it's pretty warm down here too, so it'll bring in some moisture up here. You still got severe weather for some of these areas in here. Still sticking around on week 3. Now let's kind of move on to the precipitation, see what it shows. So this is day 7, kind of average here, and I believe on the same week. Yeah, no, I am actually not. But anyways, here you still got above average precipitation here, so severe weather chances are still going up for some of these areas down here, which is not good. So that means you got 2 weeks of severe weather potential for these areas right here, indicating by the CFS. Now, nobody has really talked about this much, not just yet. Now, week 4, you still got above average precipitation. Look at the upper dynamics. It's still the same thing, and we're actually getting closer into May, so you still got severe weather chances across those very similar areas, kind of shifting a little further north, just a little bit here. And this is stuff we do not want to see. So basically 2 to 3 weeks of rounds of severe weather going on for some of these areas down here. Now let's move on to the CANCEPS model, which just updated last night. So this is very fresh here for the CANCEPS model. And this is April overall. You got ridging over Florida, kind of pushing up into near the Great Lakes region. You got troughing across the northwest here. And you got severe weather potential across the plains here, a little bit over to the west, at east. Now precipitation, now look at this here. So the severe weather chance is a little bit further east here. I'm at west. So you got severe weather potential pretty much for these areas right in here. So again, very active severe weather for some of these areas in here. And where the CFS kind of highlighted was kind of in here. So in this circle right in here, looks like they can have some really bad severe weather just overall from forecast models. Now, I cannot show you by week because it only gives you the monthly outlook, but why not? We'll show you for May. It is still a very similar pattern. It's very wet. Take a look at the upper dynamics. Yeah, how about that? Pretty much everybody's normal right here. That's kind of insane. It's like we could do those 2-meter temperature anomalies. You can see there's some cooler air across the north and even pushing it to the east. So, yeah, and you got above average precipitation. So we're not going to be 100% sure on May, not quite just yet. If we kind of move on to the CFS monthly, kind of similar, but you still got some warming across the east here. And meanwhile, for precipitation, it's kind of all over the place for May. So May will be again for a different video. We're going to talk much about May. So here's my overall pattern map here. So this is kind of my forecast suggestion here. So in this green here, that kind of overlaps the blue area, which the blue area means troughing. Green means above average precipitation. So kind of your store track perhaps will be something like this. Again, I'm not 100% sure, especially with this dry area in here. So there might be a couple systems that might try to come by here. Then the low itself probably start to deepen as well. So we're going to see what happens here. And there's, again, another dry area. There's going to be some troughing and drying across some of these areas in here, like New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. There, at least for the Texas Panhandle. Now, let's go to the eyes to the southeast here. So what overlaps the ridging and the above average precipitation? That's going to be some trouble area in there. So that means you're going to have some above average temperatures along with above average precipitation for some of those areas in there. And in the trough and the ridging is very close to each other. So there's a really good agreement where the jet stream is going to be kind of going here. So your jet stream is basically going to be going on something like this. So for the example here, if a low pressure system moves by right up here, there's going to be a lot of divergence here. And that's going to really increase the severe weather threat just by kind of taking a look at this, with this image here. And for the severe weather potential, here you go. So this is my forecast here. So this light red here, it's just above average severe weather, well, slightly above average here. But in that dark red, most likely chances for severe weather for April. There could be some severe weather or tornado outbreaks are possible in April with the setup we're looking at. So this includes southern Indiana, southern Ohio, most of Kentucky, most of Tennessee, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, northeastern Arkansas, southern Illinois, and southeastern Missouri. You know what's uh, recognizable with this? Has been a very similar setup in March of what we'll be having here. Like the Jonesboro tornado, it was right over here. The Nashville tornado was over here. For the last severe weather event, we had EF2s that's been established from the National Weather Service of Paducah here. We had tornadoes down here around Bowling Green. We had large hail. Most of the severe weather's been staying around Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, Kentucky. I think I said Tennessee already, but I'm going to say it again. And even for Mississippi, kind of in the winter time frame as well. So these areas been getting hit hard over and over again back in March, and here we are in April, and we're still looking at the very similar pattern here, which is not good for some of these folks that live in these areas in the red. Now, of course, in the surrounding areas, yes, you can see some severe weather as well. Even stretched as far down as kind of the coast there. There's going to be some times where you're going to have some severe weather in this light red area in here as well. It's just not going to be for these people in the red, especially for the light red area. You'll still see some severe weather chances as well. And you know, that might expand a little bit, it might get larger over time, but we'll see about that. So that's my severe weather forecast here. So it's kind of a scary look for some of us here. Like, I live in the dark red area. I live over here, and I put myself in the most likely severe weather area. So I need to keep an eye on this. I'm not the only one here. We got tons of people that live in this dark red area and even in the light red area. So stay weather aware for April. Now let's take a look to some other people's forecasts like the Climate Prediction Center. So this is its temperatures here. Very warm across the central and eastern United States. You got strong troughing across the west. Very chilly. 6 to 10 day precipitation. It's going to be very, actually, not that similar to the models, really. But as you can see here, there's a dry area across Colorado, New Mexico, and Oklahoma Panhandle, the Texas Panhandle, and western Kansas. There's also another area across uh, central and southern Florida, which on my forecast, I should have put that area in slightly below average precipitation. I should have done that on my April forecast. If you haven't seen that, my April 2020 forecast, it's on. That's my pretty much my most recent video before this one here comes out. But pretty much everybody else is above average here. There's another hit across California and Nevada. There's another one up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Upper Michigan, and another one in Texas. Let's take a look at the 8 to 14 day temperatures. Look at this here. So it's starting to become a little similar to what the models were showing. You kind of have that jet stream kind of something like this here. You got above average temperatures across the south and east. The troughing is starting to expand eastward as well. And this is a very similar outlook here. Pretty much everybody above average here. So, again, very similar outlooks here for the Climate Prediction Center. Now, I think they have not released their month forecast yet because these two here are blank, but month 3 here, so this is April to June. You got above average precipitation across the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, and to the Mid-Atlantic regions. If you look into temperatures here, it's pretty warm for everybody, but you can tell here kind of the troughing will be something like in here, so we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the last thing I want to take a look into is that this is stuff that I just learned. So, this is the Climate Prediction Center. They have the severe weather area highlighted across northern Louisiana, central northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, uh, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southwest Indiana, southern Illinois, most of Missouri, most of Arkansas, northeastern Texas, central and eastern Oklahoma, in southwestern Kansas, and even for southern Iowa. And this is starting on April the 8th into the 9th. And I do expect them to change a little bit more, maybe expand us a little bit as well for the severe weather potential here. So it's back for a second time here. And this gets to show you how much confidence we have for severe weather potential for these areas in here. So April 8th, so that's about 7 days away. So it is about a week away. So it is in the SPC's Day 8 outlook, but they haven't really put too much info. They actually haven't really posted much of info at all about Day 8, really, in their description. But anyways, guys, just stay weather aware for April because this is going to be something very serious in April. Like I said, April is usually crazy for severe weather, you know, like the super outbreak of 2011. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen this severe weather season, but it's looking to be a very active severe weather season, and it already has been back in the wintertime. It's been active in March, and it seems like that's going to continue into April. But anyways, guys, this is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this special edition of kind of the extended outlook of April 2020 with the severe weather outlook. If you guys did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you're never miss an upload. If you guys got questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I will answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.